Alright, I'm going to show how my dash cam is wired up. This wasn't easy to do. I got a GoPro hanging from my sunroof, which as you can watch now, it's kind of funny. Open, close. So I'm going to try to pull this down. I use tools at first, but if you can get your fingernails in here. Get my glasses out. Kind of just get your fingers up there and get your hand in the glasses. Just kind of pull. It's not in there by much. God, I hate doing this. I've done it in a while. Just kind of pull down on it. I think I got one left. Okay. Alright. Now I got that off. Clip fell out. One thing, we're going to change modes here. Hang on. Please stand by. Alright. I'll show you what fell down here. You go up in here in your cavity. See the yellow clip?
Sorry, could you say that again?
That yellow clip's there. It's not over here. It popped off. These two remained in place.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Oh, I'll tell you what, ever since the update, this Apple Watch is terrible. So here we go. There's one fell down by my side. I'm gonna try to get that right now. Don't mind all the blinding lights. All right, down the side of my seat, there's the other clip. Make sure you don't lose these, because if you do, it's gonna rattle. You want them intact. If you break one, it happens, that's fine. I would go get new ones, either from Amazon or your dealer preferably. I'm doing this in my garage on room mode because it's like 10 degrees outside today. So anyhow, just to show you quick. Here you can see, this is my ground. And I'm an automotive mechanic by trade. I work on heavy trucks. I'm a fleet mechanic. Everything we do with the ground has got star washers on it. So you can see there's 2 star washers here and a bolt. And that's a good solid ground. The metal under here is cleaned off. That ground's not going anywhere. That's the ground I used. And I'll have to dig the power out here. You can see here my fuse. I did this almost 2 years ago. I'm just pulling it down now for you. Okay, see how it's been there a while. That is my heat shrink. That's not going anywhere. There's the connector that came with the dash cam. And following this up, you can see where I have this tapped in here under the sheathing. I pulled the sheathing back, made the tap, and put it back up. You can see here, there's your module and motor assembly for the sunroof. Again, this is just a Prime SE, so, and my sunroof's still open. Let me close it. Not using that anymore. Let me see, close. That makes it easier to see. Okay. This is just a Prime SE, and it doesn't have the panel roof or nothing, but there is where everything plugs in. The wire I'm tapped into is higher amperage, so you don't want to put all that through your small wire here. This little dinky wire it comes with. That's what a dash cam comes with. Not capable of holding out a lot of amperage. If that wire, that thin part, was to short out up here for any reason, which it probably won't, but if it was, that wire would catch on fire. Here's our tie-in, our fuse. And here is our actual connection. Right. Like I said, I'd done solder and taped up. I'm not going to remove this tape. Believe me, it's soldered in. To the black wire right here that goes up and feeds power to your moonroof. I believe that's a 20 or a 30 amp fuse. It's quite a bit. So I come off that with a heavy gauge wire to the fuse. Once I go through this fuse, it's a very low amp fuse. It's a 3 amp fuse or 1 amp fuse. Well, there goes my Apple Watch again. Even though no one was talking to it. I'm going to try to open this here. I don't remember what size fuse it is. But all this wiring is at least as big as this wire here. And the reason that's important is if there's a short in this fuse, from here up, it's just going to blow the fuse. And if there's a short here, between here and this black wire, this wire is heavy enough to handle the current that the main fuse will trip at. So if the short's out right here, let's say, it's not going to. But if it was to dig into something metal and short out here, it's just going to blow the fuse for the moonroof. That's it. No harm, no foul. But over here on this side, let's just say this little thin wire right here was to ever short out and you didn't put that fuse in, this would get scorching hot, melt all the insulation off, and could start a fire. It could start a fire. So that's why you want to fuse this. You want to fuse it much lower than what this is fused for, because all this wire, you want the fuse to blow before this wire melts. And these wires come up here, and they come out right here, and they go down, and they go to my dash cam. All right, I'm set up on the GoPro again. It's hard to do this with my hands and film and hold, especially with that good light. All right, let's get the fuse cover down to make it easier to see. And as you can see, there's a 3 amp fuse in there. And that little 3 amp fuse is small enough that this wire has enough capacity where it'll blow this fuse from there on down to the camera before this is hot all the time. And that's why I like using this source. And I didn't have to run wiring down the side or anything like that. It was easy. My little 3 amp fuse. And if I pull that fuse out, the dash cam will just go off. And I'll do that right now just to show you. You'll hear it shut off. Well, it says goodbye. Plug it back in. It powers back up. And it's running again. So that's it. I mean, this didn't even take me 15 minutes. It's easy. No running wires. This wire is already here if you've got a sunroof package. Maybe it's a little better angle. This wire is here if you have a sunroof. It's already here. Tape it up. Put it back up in the sheathing like I did. Tuck this up front here out of the way. And one final thing. When this fell down, I made mention that this stayed here. This yellow clip. That needs to come out. You can't leave that there. That's got to come out and be reinstalled back in the overhead console. And it needs to look like this when it's done. It's got to be in place. So I retrieved the other one. This here that fell down in the seat. So right now I'm going to put that on. Because if you don't do this, it's not going to stay up. It's going to rattle. So you just slip this back in place here. Like that. And that's in. And now we got the last one up here. When you get that, you can pick at it. You can play with it. I've got these dedicated tools here. Made by Snap-on. Most mechanics have good stuff. You can get the cheap version. It doesn't matter. But that'll get up in here. Behind this. And you can just pop it out. Because sometimes they... Oh, I dropped that one. That one went in the passenger side footwell. Had to get that. Alright, I retrieved that from the footwell. So like I said, before you put this back up, I'm going to make sure you got all 4 clips. 1, 2, 3. And here's the 4th one I just retrieved. I'm going to put that in place right here. And they just clip in. It's about 43 degrees in my garage. I wouldn't want to do this if it was any colder, because I'm not sure how that would go. If these could break. But you want to just be gentle and pry it up. So I got all 4 clips in. With that being said, I'm just going to tuck in. I'm going to put my fuse cover back on my fuse holder. This is a WeatherPack fuse holder. It's all that I buy, so it doesn't have to be like this, but just another level of protection. These are used on lawnmowers, golf carts, things like that, where they're not protected from the weather. So get that up out of the way. And then we're just going to reinstall this whole console here. I'm not sure if this is even showing up. Yeah. I'm going to back this up a little so you can see better. All right, I backed out a little bit so you to see. So all 4 of my clips, they're on here. I'm gonna go back up, and this thing just snaps in there. There really isn't much to it. Oh, I am really tired of this Apple Watch. It never did this before the update. Now it's all the time. Those 2 clipped in. I want to wiggle this around. I want to make sure I get them all. Oh, I didn't like that. I'm going to pull this back down. Okay. See these 2 back ones going up first. Okay, back ones are in. 3, 4. They're all clipped in. That's it. That's how Toyota does it. So just make sure all your clips are on, because you really want it to look like you were never there. You don't want to see anything, and it's like you weren't there. All you got's the wire coming out up here. This wire is to my camera that goes in the back. It goes in the rear window. It's kind of nice. That's it. Straightforward. The wire is protected. You have fuse protection for your camera and your wiring. That's all good. So you can do that and be assured that there's going to be no issues. All right, we sat for a minute. Now the dash cam's turned off. And as soon as it gets below, I think, high 12 volts, it shuts off and shuts down, goes into parking mode. So now it's not drawing a lot of juice, but it is drawing enough where it will sense vibration or motion, and it will start to record in either one of those 2. So if you get in your car and there's a ding or dent in the front, you don't know what happened, chances are this thing caught it. So to turn this on, once you turn your vehicle on, which is just a matter of, I'm going to actually put it in room mode, which is easier. So I double tap. That didn't work. Okay, now I'm going to put it up here because you'll see this thing come on in a second. I'm going to hit room mode, yes. Now the car should have 14 volts in the system. And there it goes. Now it's turned on. And you can see here's my front camera. There's the camera on me. Right here. And there's the back camera facing the garage door. So it works really nice with full-time power. And this has never caused me to have the truck.
Could you say that again?
There goes my iWatch again. It's never caused me to have any problems or have to jump this car. I've never had to jump it. It's never run the battery low. I let it sit I went away for 5-6 days, come back, and it starts right up. No issues. So I really like this setup. Like I said, it's an older unit now. I want to say I've had this thing before I had the car. It was in my last car, so it's at least 3-4 years old. But you basically set it and forget it. You don't do anything to it.
Could you say that again?
Oh, excuse me, Apple Watch. You basically don't do anything to it. But if you need the footage off it for any reason, you just grab the SD card out, put it in your computer, and you'll be able to find what it is you want to see. So, anyway, I hope to help somebody out, and you all have a good day.